past year. Thank you for the support you give us and one another. Xbox, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the friendships we time. At Bethesda, video games do one thing better than they transport us. Through art and technology, there's real magic when you step into a new world and can make it your own. We've traveled the worlds of Elder Scrolls, of Fallout, for the first time in over 25 years, universe, with Starfield. Set hundreds of years in our future, it's an epic about hope, our shared humanity, and answering our greatest mystery. It's a game we've dreamt of playing, and it wasn't until now that we have the hardware, the technology, and the team who's hard at work at home to make that dream a reality. We're excited to finally share our first in-game teaser.
Helium-3 tanks checked. Seals are intact. We're still go.
They say, the wonder is, not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Awesome to share with you for the very first time one of the most anticipated games in the world from Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda Game Studios. A groundbreaking game, and yes, it's exclusive. Welcome to the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. I am so excited and proud to be here today celebrating games, because although it's been an incredibly tough year, I am grateful that games have been such an important source of joy and connection. We are committed to forging the next era of gaming, conjuring worlds never before possible, unlocking play across all devices, and delivering the power of games to everyone. And now, we get to share that quest with Bethesda, not just as partners, but as one team, united in bringing the very best games to more people everywhere. So today, we get to reveal more of what's to come. We have an amazing show, 30 titles, 27 in Xbox Game Pass. Every single console title you'll see today is optimized for Xbox Series X and S, offering next-gen performance, speed, and features. We get to work with the best studios on Earth. Next is
Welcome to E3 Live from Los Angeles, California. We are so thrilled that you are joining us. We have another stellar day of reveals and announcements that should change gaming over the course of the next year. I'm Jackie Jing, joined by my lovely co-host, Alex Golden Boy Mendez. We were practicing our poses before.
Yeah, we were. We were doing it.
Like this?
I'm trying to support my colleague, so
this?
I wanted to stand like this. If the camera could just get my legs,
I think you're working it.
I think I'm nailing it. You know, there you go, right there.
There we
See,
go.
Look at that. Look at the cross.
Look at the foot pose.
Oh, crap. Okay, never mind. Realize I got 2 left feet. Even though I'm Puerto Rican, not all of us are good at salsa dancing.
I can't.
Yeah.
I do need to ask you though. Have you recovered from yesterday's announcements? You
Oh,
little
man.
Halo head, you.
It's been a great day. Actually, we just had a multiplayer showcase for Halo as well.
You're on your phone
so
like
I'm
this.
like glued to my phone before the start of the show. It looks great. I can't wait. But man, there were so many great games yesterday.
Oh.
It's like we were running through the gamut. I mean, from the Xbox showcase to Square Enix, the PC Gamer Show had loads of great games, future games as well. It was nuts. It was so awesome.
You were just excited for Halo Infinite. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That
He
too.
was going
That's very
ham
true.
though. I ain't gonna lie though, Redfall, vampires and violence all the way over
All the
here.
way. I'm okay with it.
Yes. Anyways, we hope that you're enjoying this virtual format of E3 in 2021. We are presenting you with all the insight and live reveals from the comforts of your own home. We've gone global, folks. This year, we are bringing the announcements to you no matter where you might be. From LA to China, we are here to bring you every last word from your favorite developers and tell you exactly what that means going forward. Such an amazing experience for all those watching at home, and such a pleasure to be hosting with GB. I'm punching you.
Yes,
I can't
I'm
see it, but
being punched off camera, but yeah, we have so many partners all over the globe covering this great event. It has honestly been stupendous to get all of the reactions. Everyone's excited, right? Everyone loves video games. E3, it truly is the best time of the year. It's the Super Bowl of gaming, and you're always going to get some awesome reveals, and I think everyone, there was a little bit of something for everyone, and for an event that is as global as E3, that is exactly what you want. But the fun continues here, because at 9 a.m. we're going to be kicking things off with Verizon. Then at 9:45, a blast from the past, as in television is going to be taken to stage. Then we have an awesome panel with Take-Two Interactive at 10:15. At 11:10, one that I'm specifically excited excited for is Mythical Games. We'll see what they're bringing to the table. Then at 12, we'll have the Indie Spotlight. Who doesn't like talking about more independent games? Then at 12:30, Freedom Games will go on. We'll see what they're going to be bringing out here. And then at 12:55, we'll have Ven for a special discussion. And then at 2:30, Capcom. Everyone's looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah.
Followed by one that I'm particularly stoked for because I'm a big PC peripheral person.
Yeah.
It's Razer, so I'm looking forward as well to that there. There's a lot of good stuff on the docket today, Jackie.
I'm kind of a Razer girl, too. I got the Kitty Kraken ears and the chair.
Razer Viper
great
Mini
lumbar
Ultimate.
support.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Exceptional.
It is good. It is good.
Anyway, I know you're excited for Razer. You're talking about Mythical Games a little bit. But what else are you excited for today?
Well, you know, we got a little bit of an early glimpse at the in Television Amico and like what they're going to be doing there. You know, like I said, it's always nice to see things that are going to come back, you know, from our past, coming back to, and try, like, it's like a way for us as we get older to get a newer generation to appreciate a lot of those old school games that we all grew up playing, right? So that is going to be a really fun one. But yeah, I'm really stoked for Mythical Games. I think that's going to be a fun panel.
You've been talking about it all morning. I do think all eyes are on Capcom. Resident Evil 25th anniversary, maybe a new title, definitely some reveals. I think a lot of Monster Hunter and Street Fighter fans are going to be closely watching as well. I'm wearing my Chun-Li blue, y'all.
I like that. I wore Halo green yesterday, so it makes sense to wear Chun-Li blue.
Okay,
I like that. I like that.
But there's so much on the schedule today, but also just want to give you all a quick reminder. If you're looking for some sweet limited edition E3 merch, do you see how good this looks, folks? Do a little spin,
I did the wrong
please.
side. I did the wrong side.
Okay, you got
do a little spin.
Practice poses earlier. There we go. Okay.
Throw 'em. I'm telling you, right here.
Vogue. I love it.
This jacket actually, full stop, is actually really comfortable. Not gonna front. I oftentimes don't wear merch for the event that I'm working. This time around, I was like, this jacket actually is quite nice. And this bomber is very, very comfortable. And it's got the E3 logo right here.
It's also got a little pocket here.
Yeah, it's got the, you know, it's full bomber, baby. It goes with practically anything. So yeah, do that, and then I'll probably end up stealing a dad hat at some point in time with Greg.
I know. Greg was working the dad hat yesterday.
It really
He's
was.
also been working the bomber jackets as well. But
He has been.
speaking about Greg Miller, let's send things over to the third member of our Titan trio, Greg Miller. He is surrounded by our lovely media partners. How y'all feeling? We're through 2 days of E3 now. Can you believe it? Hi.
We are feeling quite well, Jackie. Come on now. Third day of E3. I mean, what, David? You don't feel well? You're not.
No, I feel quite well.
I mean, well, there's well and there's quite well, and that's the third day of E3. Of course, we have Damon Hatfield from IGN.com. Michael Hyam over here.
Howdy.
From the one, the only GameSpot. Howdy to yourself. You know what I mean? Dan Casey from The Nerdist. How are you?
And quite a good morning to you as well. I'm great.
And then, of course, if you want to get it here, the empty chair. Avalee from G4, not here today. Unfortunately, bit in the eyes by 2 snakes last night. But I hear she will make a full recovery and she will be here tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Because they were venomous, not poisonous.
Exactly. That's a fun joke. Because, you know, venomous, poisonous. Do you know the difference?
What? No. Tell me.
So venomous, of course, would be if I bit you.
Okay.
And then I had venom in my veins, then I'm venomous. But if you licked me, I'm poisonous.
Oh, okay.
And that's what got you sick? That what kills you?
I'm telling Jen.
Roll the dice, you know what I mean? Find out what happened. For you to lick me like a toad. Ladies and gentlemen, or I guess just gentlemen today, what are we excited for? Damon, when you think of this day 3, what are you excited for?
There's a couple of things I'm looking forward to today. In all honesty, I'm very curious about Intellivision.
Yeah.
I'm a retro gamer. Intellivision is a name that I grew up with, although I never owned one myself, so I think it's very cool that there's this very retro gaming brand getting its own showcase within E3.
Yeah.
They want to be a family-friendly console where all the games are easy to pick up and play. They have their own controller that's very simple to use, apparently. So I'm curious to see if, you know, what they've got and if there's room in the market for yet another successful console. And then, of course, Capcom.
Of course.
Coming up later today.
Come on.
NPD just announced this morning that Resident Evil Village, best-selling game of May, second best-selling game of the year so far after Black Ops Cold War, which makes it the best-selling game that was released this year. So Capcom has another hit on its hands, and I'd love to see some more content for that.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we need to know what you think. As you see, there's a poll going right now. Capcom is running away with what are you most excited for with 60% of the vote, but the Indie Showcase right behind that. Of course, no matter where you are watching, you can spam the chat, find out, vote in those polls, and use the hashtag E32021 to be on the little ticker below. But Michael, what are you excited for today?
I am with the audience and with Damon and saying Capcom because I love Japanese games. That's kind of what I've gravitated towards throughout my career at GameSpot is covering Japanese games. And Capcom, I think, is going to be surprising.
Yeah.
Maybe, I know like Jackie said, Resident Evil 25-year anniversary, and Resident Evil Village is poppin'. So, and there's probably going to be some extra content. I would like to see VR support for Resident Evil Village. That would be wild. But I think the thing I'm actually most excited for, and I think Dan is going to feel me on this one, is the Great Ace Attorney.
Oh, yes.
Objection. The Great Ace Attorney has been out in Japan for a long time, and it's coming westward this year for Switch, PS4, and PC. It's kind of a period piece with a character named...
Okay, hold on. We need G4 representation here. I'm tired of this.
Objection.
God, that's Golden Boy's music.
God forbid G4's back. All right, did you not hear, guys? Did you not see it? G4's back, everybody.
We ain't going nowhere this time until we run out of money next time. Let's go.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. Here's my question about Capcom, actually, though, and this is for the panel, obviously. But Capcom, very upfront, they already announced that they had, Seltzer, of course, a friend of ours, Golden Boy, doing the presentation. They came out and listed their games, right? So they're talking about, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil Village. Is this one of the ones where we trust that? Do we think there's one more thing? Like, obviously, there's been other stuff announced, right? Obviously, Resident Evil Reverse, the multiplayer game, is set for the summer. You'd expect to see something, but they didn't list it. RE4 VR, right, got announced, but are we going to see something here? Should they have gone out of their way to say it? Dan, should we dream or do we not dream about Capcom?
Every night I dream of them announcing a new rival schools, but it is still yet to happen.
Brother.
I knew I liked
Maybe someday.
I knew I had culture. This is the man of culture right here.
Maybe today will be that day, but if it's not, I'm still excited. There's some cool stuff on there. I mean, I'm getting a new Ace Attorney game, and the other stuff sounds pretty cool, but I don't know. I'm just, I've been hurt before.
Sure.
Every time they don't announce rival schools, a little part of me dies like a Horcrux, but in the meantime, I will hold out that hope and just be excited by everything else coming that way.
Okay, fine, I can take that.
Yeah.
And then Golden Boy G4, what are you excited for?
Well,
and don't say Capcom, because you and I are talking about Capcom in 10 minutes. I'm saving it all up.
They did talk about the RE4 during the Oculus presentation, so they went through that a fair amount. But yeah, I mean, as far as the day goes, though, I mentioned on stage briefly, I am looking forward to Mythical because they have a very unique style of game that they do. It's focused on blockchain technology, right? Everyone's talking about the blockchain right now. But it is cool. I think like providing actual value to items in game, through the blockchain system is a pretty neat and interesting take. I would like to see it applied to CCGs, and I'm sure they're going to be talking about Blancos as well, which is like one of their big games there.
Yeah, for me, obviously Capcom, that's the brand we know. But
you just said don't take Capcom.
I'm getting away from it. Then there are the questions of the other things, right? Where it's like there's an indie games presentation.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's part of that. And I obviously, I don't know if obviously, hey, if you don't know, I'm Greg Miller and I love indie games. So now it's obvious that I'm excited for this because I want to see what they have up their sleeves. And I'm interested to see, with so much saturation this week, whether it be PC Gamer, whether it be the other one, Future Gamer, that we just did yesterday, right? Like, how much more space are there for more indies to come out?
There are a few more indie games that I've been paying attention to that I didn't see at the other showcases. So I want to shout out two of them. Boyfriend Dungeon from Kit Fox.
Of course.
Shouts out to y'all. And She Dreams Elsewhere from my boy Davion Gooden. Hey, I knew I was going to give you a shout out during E3, but I haven't seen those at other showcases. Those are games that I'm looking forward to that kind of feel like they're imminent for release, but that's up to them. But it would be dope to see those games on an E3 stage. That's what I want to see, but if I don't.
Also, where's Avali to talk about Boyfriend Dungeon?
Boyfriend, oh my God.
I can't do the Avali Boyfriend Dungeon thing justice, because I wouldn't even know where to go from there. What is that game even about?
You date your weapons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you want to date your sword or your blunderbuss? Come on.
Or your polearm?
Yeah,
Gentlemen, I'm taken.
I've been dating my polearm for a good 30-some years in this.
You set him up with that one.
Correct.
This is what you get when we put 5 men on a panel. You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to reset. We're going to take a quick break because we are just getting started. Up next, you're going to get a preview of what to expect when Capcom presents. But first, here are some of the best memories from past E3s as told to you by some of your favorite streamers and content creators.
My biggest E3 memory that I remember being like, are you serious? Was Beatles Rock Band, because they had the Beatles there.
I remember when they showed the Final Fantasy VII with new technology reimagined.
The remake.
Something about game devs and game executives going boom is like a memorable experience.
I think Deathloop is going to be such a great game. I am so excited about it.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Little Nightmares 2, anything that is indie and that really catches our attention, absolutely love it.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, they showed Nessa, especially like Black Cosplay Twitter and stuff. Everyone was like, yo, oh my God. I kid you not, literally that night, I started putting together a costume.
So a moment that really stuck out to me for E3 was in 2016, where I actually got to meet and interview Mr. Miyamoto. It was surreal, and I will never forget that moment.
Probably one of my favorite announcements that happened at E3 was for Fallout 4. And it was also one of the first times I actually got to work with Bethesda. Being able to work with my favorite video game series was just a dream come true. So that was a super hype E3 announcement for me.
They were talking about Forza Motorsport 6, and they literally lowered a Ford GT from the ceiling, and I lost my mind.
Microsoft brought out Usher. That was the time. That was when there were just random celebrities.
The E3 announcement that I got the most excited about was winning the freaking Smash Brothers tournament and getting that dang medal. That was the best announcement that ever happened to me, when they announced the winner, and it was me.
Welcome back to E3 Live from Los Angeles. Greg Miller here with my cast of gaming friends, of course, the none other than Golden Boy Alex Mendes.
Right.
Hello, how are you?
I feel like I just spoke to you.
Well, you did, because you crashed the other segment, you know what I mean, and then you burned it, because we're supposed to have this bomber jacket moment where we're together and like our powers unite, but then you burst through the wall screaming about G4.
I'm so sorry about that.
I like
I'm
it.
excited, you know? I'm excited.
That's what people are tuning in for. They like the shenanigans.
G4 is back for a few months, you know what I mean? Just get used to it, kids.
Is this the advertising gimmick they're running with? Of like, hey, how long is it gonna last this time?
Yeah, man. Well, until Cops and Cheaters shows up, you know, like,
well,
I'm joking.
Joey Greco. Golden Boy, I want to talk about a developer we are all familiar with. That's Capcom. What do you want to see from them today during their E3 presentation?
All right, if we're keeping it $1.50, okay?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Like we're keeping it real.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, there's nothing more real than $1.50.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
I know you know. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he knows.
I'm right there.
It would be so sick if we got a Lost Planet game.
Oh my God! Why are you dreaming so big? This is the problem with gamers. They come out and they say, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil Village. That's our presentation. He's like, I want Lost Planet.
Hear me out, Greg. All right, because if, you know, yesterday Square Enix was like, hey, we're Square Enix and we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Right? And then they dropped Strangers of Paradise.
Sure.
You know, which was a special surprise.
Sure.
So I would like it if Capcom did one more thing. You know, that would be cool. It's not necessary for them to do it, because I think like the slate of games that they're going to talk about, like the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, I think that's fantastic.
Sure.
A lot of people are going to get hyped up about that.
Two different Ace Attorney games bundled as one, only released in Japan, now coming to America.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's going to be a fun release for a lot of people to just enjoy those games, and yeah, I think that's going to be pretty awesome. What about you?
Oh, for me, like I like that they called out Resident Evil. Hey, we are going to talk about Resident Evil Village. Of course, Damon just went over there. The success Resident Evil Village has had since its launch a month ago. So what does that mean today? Is it DLC? Is it story-based DLC? We haven't actually talked about Resident Evil Village, you and I. Have you beaten Resident Evil Village?
I have not played it. All I've done is watch. Watch streams of it.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, I've been in California for like a month, so I haven't had time to play any video games at all.
Yeah.
That said, though, I have liked what I've seen besides the hand stuff. The hand stuff really doesn't do it for me.
I understand. They have a thing about hands over there. But the story goes places.
It does.
And ends in a very interesting place that we won't spoil here if you haven't gotten there. So my question becomes then, if it's DLC, is it continuing that saga? Are we getting a tease of what happens next? Like, where do we want to go with Resident Evil Village and double down on the success they found up?
Do you feel like we have a pathway, though, for Resident Evil Village?
Oh, there's multiple pathways I think
Yeah.
they could go with it, which makes it so exciting and interesting to see what they'd want to do with it and what they want to add to it and what they want to talk about today for it. And then beyond that, I know like Monster Hunter Rise, obviously, is a game that has taken over. Fanbytes Imran Khan, obsessed with it, right? He's one of our friends. IG and Zach Ryan, obsessed with it. I want to see what they have up their sleeve. They had done, their own event in May already where they talked about the 3.0 update. Now we're getting about to the 3.1 update. So what else are you going to put in there? What other monsters are we going to do? And again, this is E3.
Yeah.
This is when you get to tease to the largest audience, hey, here's what's coming in the fall. Here's what's coming down the line. So it doesn't even have to be the more imminent 3.1 update. It could be anything.
Yeah, exactly. There's a great opportunity here for Monster Hunter, for Capcom, to just continue to establish the strength of the Monster Hunter brand.
Yeah.
I went to Japan, and I remember going to a few of the, the toy stores and stuff like that to pick up some figurines. I mean, and just, it was everywhere. It was such a big deal. You could tell that the culture around that, the game, even out here as well, and I'm glad it's really picked up steam out here because it is a fantastic franchise. So yeah, I think we're going to get some cool little goodies with Monster Hunter for sure.
Yeah, I will put a pin in all that because, Monster Hunter, I'm so excited since World to see the success Western. As somebody who used to review the Monster Hunter games on PSP, to see it now be a huge phenomenon out here, it's insane. Maybe one day we will get the Monster Hunter restaurant I went to in Japan here stateside.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's insane,
That'd be
dude.
cool, like
It's
the Gundam
insane.
Cafe.
Exactly.
Well, the drinks weren't that great, but...
that's when you fall apart. Jackie, what do you want to see in an American Monster Hunter restaurant?
What? I have no idea how to answer that question, so we're just going to go into the next segment. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, so we all love ourselves some AAA games, but we're also putting the indie world in the spotlight today with some trailer reveals. What types of indie games do you look forward to? For me, I love when the music just hits and the animation, I just feel it in my core and my heart. It's so hard to pinpoint what it is. I just feel like I watch the trailer and it somehow just hits me right in the feels. But Damon, I know you're particularly excited about seeing all the indie games. Why does it stand out to you so much?
There's a lot of creativity in the indie game world. They're able to take sometimes they're able to take bigger risks than a AAA game that's tens of millions of dollars in the making. It's usually a smaller team. Lots of pixel art. There's just so much great pixel art happening in the world of indie games today. I grew up on pixel art, of course. The pixel art that's happening today wouldn't have been possible in the 80s and 90s. It's such a cool look. They're doing fantastic things. It's a visual style that's going to look good 100 years from today.
Michael, what about you? Why are you excited about the show?
Independent games have the ability to be telling more personal stories, and I think that's what I gravitate towards a lot. So I mentioned She Dreams Elsewhere, which is an upcoming indie game from a good friend, Davion Gooden, but I think that's a microcosm of why I gravitate towards independent games. So you mentioned music, and you can do a lot more. You have the freedom to kind of make what kind of music. You don't have to check with anyone. You don't have to check with anyone if this is the type of story you want to tell, whether it's personal, if it deals with mental health, or if it's an expression of something you're just feeling. You are, if you're making an independent game, you are your own storyteller. So you are the last, I imagine that you would be the last, you get the last say in what your game says. So of course, not every indie game is going to hit every person, but for those games that do hit certain people, I think they can be very impactful. Because I know games such as Undertale, which is probably, I guess, the most successful indie game out there by Toby Fox, that is literally one of my favorite games of all time, and many people would probably agree with me. But there's something very, very earnest and very personal about that game, and especially that soundtrack, which Toby Fox also made as well, is just like a throwback to all the old school RPGs. So that's what I look for in independent games, and I want to see something like that again, and I hope someone out there finds something they're interested in too during the showcase.
Michael, that was an exceptional monologue. I just want to give him a round of applause. All of us were entranced. We were just keep going.
I want a game to make me cry. I've been on record on this for all of E3. Crying is dope. Crying is great. If there's a game out there that's going to make me cry, give it to me.
We're here for all the feels. Dan, but in your opinion, what makes the indie games hit?
I think it's what both Damon and Michael were saying, where you have so much raw creativity out there, but the indie game process democratizes the creative process because you have fewer corporate masters to answer to. You can really sort of focus in on your vision. I think about that sort of idea of a singular creator in some cases, like Concerned Ape with Stardew Valley. That was someone who just loved playing Harvest Moon so much that he's like, I need to make my own. And he did over the course of like 5 years, and it turned out great. But you get so much other stuff out there too, like it really opens up genres that might get passed by a larger publisher. Things like visual novels, you get a lot of unique narratives there. Some really strange ones sometimes, like Hatoful Boyfriend, where you get to date a bird. But that's also cool because that offers all these options to so many people out there. There's so much amazing content, especially through platforms like Steam and Itch. There's so many amazing creators out there, and some of my favorite surprises from the show so far have come during the PC Gaming Show or the Future Games Showcase, because it's not the stuff that we knew was coming, it's the stuff that I'm going to add to my wish list right away because I want to play it down the line.
You know what I also find very interesting about indie games is basically what they have to do with PR and marketing. This is so random, but one of my friends just hit me up on LinkedIn and was like, hey, do you remember me from college? I made an indie game. It's called Extra Galactica. It's actually going to be appearing today in the Indie Game Show. And it's adorable. I love it. Great 80s retro music. You're going to absolutely adore it, Damon. And pixel art. So, but he was talking to me about how they're trying to appeal to China and these different regions. So it's like, how do they find their audience? I feel like that's such a challenge.
It is a challenge, of course. I mean, think of how many great-looking indie games we've seen just during this show. There are like literally hundreds of games released every day. It is a real, discoverability is a real challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so much to get to today, but first we're going to take a quick break. When we return, Verizon will get things going with a major update. Stay tuned.
I would say GTA 5, Minecraft, those games, like, they're still around because it's super open world. I mean, Minecraft, you can build anything, break anything, which is really, really cool. GTA is just like, it's just like real life, but in a game, which is cool, and you can just go up and like punch people, and that's always fun, and you can't do that in real life, or, I mean, I guess you can, but probably wouldn't be good.
篝火营地是中国领先的游戏媒体，创立于2018年，致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速的资讯情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家国际一流游戏媒体同行达成正式内容合作关系，源源不断地将最新鲜的游戏资讯第一时间带给全球中文游戏玩家。自成立以来，篝火营地在全网的内容浏览量已经超过5亿，服务了数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者。您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地 APP， 或者访问3w.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传播者的行列。
As a part of Play For All, GameSpot will be bringing you the latest gaming news and announcements, interviews with developers, the biggest press conferences, and lots more. Play For All is our yearly online event that combines the excitement and announcements of E3 with charity live streams the following week with lots of special guests who are going to help us raise money for able gamers. So join us in June for E3 and Play For All on GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, Twitch.tv/GameSpot, and as a part of the E3's official broadcast. See you then.
Welcome back to E3 Live from Los Angeles. And team, we're just moments away from Verizon's presentation. Obviously, you know, with a mobile carrier, you think about mobile games. And, you know, how have you seen the mobile game scene change? Because I'm a big mobile gamer, and it has evolved exponentially over the last few years.
Oh my gosh, dude. No, you want to say the last few years, I'd go even further than that. You know, Damon and I have been very clear that we're old. And so at IGN in like 2008, I remember Levi Buchanan walking around and be like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, mobile games are about to be massive. They're about to take over. It's so big in Japan right now. It's going to be that way here. And you jump to it now, and it is that, like, as somebody who never played mobile games, I have Apple Arcade. Right, I have the Backbone controller to throw onto my phone, whether it is for a mobile game, whether it is to go play something through remote play. You're seeing games I'm already excited for, stuff like Cozy Grove, go from a mobile platform to PlayStation. And it's that idea of like, you start playing it on a console, you're like, this is a great game. Chicory right now. You start playing it on a console, and you're like, this is great. And then it's like, oh wait, I could have been playing this on my phone a long time ago.
I know. It's incredible how much mobile gaming has evolved. Mobile networks are so important as well, folks, and the wait is over. So let's go ahead and kick things over to our friends at Verizon.
Hello everyone, I'm Diego Scotti, CMO of Verizon, and it's great to be here. This is my first E3, so you might be wondering why am I here and why Verizon is here at the industry's biggest gaming conference. Well, let me tell you, this past year changed everything, including the world of gaming. The pandemic sparked a massive growth for the industry.